Okay. Now I'm going to explain the dialog because you are going to use dialogues in your work. Okay. So, as I told you, a dialog is a subcomponent. In this case, is a subcomponent of this component. So this can be seen in the code as there. Right. And another way, so there's no router for it actually, right? So basically it's the parent that decides when to open the component, okay? And but it is declared here that this tag, so the component tag corresponds to this class. And this class actually here has the behavior associated with when I do this, and the behavior that now I have when I write something there, okay? As I told you already, so I have ways of communication between the parent and the child. So the main idea here is that the parent sends information to the child can do whatever they want with the information, but the child cannot change the information of the parent, or shouldn't. So the idea is that you should not share variables. What happens is that when the child finishes or when he wants, he sends events to the parent. Okay? So, and as I told you, these are the two events we specified. So he sends an event when it saves an activity and when it decides to close. And it is the parent that decides what to do. As we have seen in this case, so the parent decides to change the list of activities in the institution and decides to close the dialog as well. Okay, and you close the dialog there. So how do you close it? Because we have a v if and that it opens when this is true. So you put these values such that this condition holds false, and that's it. Then now how would you send information to the component? Can be with the model, v model. So you send the boolean that says edit dialog boolean ev model, or with properties. So you set the list of the activity you want to process and the themes with properties. These correspond in this side with this tag. So you receive this attribute as a model and these two attributes as properties. Okay? And you don't want to change them. You say they are read-only. Okay? You don't want to change them. So because if you change them, they are values that are in the parent. The child should not change the parent. What happens is that as soon as you receive it, what do you do? In this method that is invoked in the beginning, you just duplicate the activity and create an edit activity. Now all the information you're gonna do basically is gonna, so every time you change the information is in the edit activity, not in the activity itself. And when you finish, when you emit the event, that's the event you emit. So you send this information, okay? But I will return to this. So, what's happening here? I receive this, and I create this entity. Now, how do I edit it? So basically, what happens when I just have this, I create this edit activity. So when I type here, all this information is stored. Look, I have this U, right? And I have, for instance, this field. And what I'm saying is that the information that is in the field should be the same that is in the edit activity attribute region. So every time I'm typing there, I'm actually doing this. That's why when I save, when I click there, so when I save, look, where is the save button? So when this is the save button. When I save, I invoke the save activity, the update activity behavior. What does the update activity? is going to use the edit activity to send it in a request, in this case a register, a request to the server. So to say, create this activity. The reason because we have two different calls here is that because this form or this dialog is being reused to create a new activity or to edit an activity. Okay? So, and the way you know it is that because if it is already created, you have the ID, because ID comes from the database. If it is new, you don't have ID. So that's why you decide if you invoke in the server update or register. Okay? And then these two methods return an activity, the new activity or the changed activity. You just say to the parent, you emit the event and send the result to the parent. So in the parent, this handler is an event handler, actually is this behavior expects to receive as parameter the activity sent by the dialog. Okay. Another thing that is important is that I can verify here that the values are correct. So I'm able to verify some of conditions. For instance, if I put 56, I say the number of participants between 1 and 5. So I can add validation to the fields. So in this case, for instance, in number of participants, look, I have this field. I have the V model, so I'm writing in the edit, okay, in the participants number limit attribute of edit activity, but I have here number valid. So this is invoked automatically by the Vuetify. So, and this method, I specify it here, and I say, well, I try to see if I check that it's a number. So they do, because if I say this, if I put this, I get an error as well, and I check these values. So it's possible that I check the verify the inputs, okay, to guarantee. So it's a redundant verification if you think, because you know that in the server you verify it as well. But from a usability point of view, it's nice that you just get feedback whether your input is okay even before you just try to submit something. Okay, so it's a good usability approach. Okay, so this is pretty much, so the dialog is not that complex. So you have the buttons there, and of course in this case it's so simple, so when you close you can just forget about everything. So you have a short, so instead of doing like this, that you do some actions and at the end, like in this case, change the value in the server and then emit the event. In this case, it's just close, it's fire and forget, and you can just write the behavior there. You don't need, of course, you could have a method as well, a controller as well, but you can just say, when you click, just emit the event. Okay. And of course, you have here, but you're not going to know it, but you have here a more complex part where you use an external component for for the dates. So because of this part, okay. But so this is an external component that we use there, and when it just fills the value. Okay. Okay. I think it's pretty much the way it works. But that's all. Okay.